starts now.
Canada Day is fast approaching. And you know, many of us, it seems, really need to celebrate something, almost anything, after the last few months we've been through. So this episode is a celebration of sorts, a tribute to Canada's contributions to and presence in the Star Trek universe. From people and geography to name places and currency. But before we move boldly into the future, let's start our discussion in the here and now. Did you know that Vulcan actually exists right here in Alberta, Canada?
Affirmative.
A small town, but one, not surprisingly, that has perked the ears of fans of Star Trek. The town actually hosts an annual convention. Now that's pretty cool. From the very start, the original series of Star Trek was driven by Canadians, captained by William Shatner, originally from Montreal, Quebec, and engineered by Scotty, the chief engineer, whose real-life roots as James Doohan started in Vancouver, British Columbia. Bruce Greenwood, who played Captain Pike in the first two Star Trek reboot films in the 2000s, is from Quebec and resides in Vancouver. Discovery is filmed in a massive studio stage in Toronto and has shown several exterior shots of local places like the Aga Khan Museum and the Scarborough Bluffs. Discovery also features several Canadian actors, Rekha Sharma of Vancouver playing Commander Landry, the security officer, Toronto's Kenneth Mitchell as Cole, a Klingon commanding officer, Claire McConnell of Toronto plays Klingon Dennis, while another Klingon named Ujili is played by Damon Runyon of Toronto. Did you know former Kids in the Hall member Scott Thompson played Ambassador Toman on Star Trek Voyager? Did you also know that Star Trek Voyager originally had another captain and another actor playing that role? Voyager's first captain, played by Genevieve Bujold, for filming of a single episode, is a French-Canadian actor from Quebec. By the way, the film for that never-aired episode is available online for those who missed it. Another current production, Star Trek Picard, couldn't resist recruiting a Canadian. Alison Pill from Toronto served as a key member of the cast of Picard Season 1. There are dozens of Canadian actors who have appeared in one of the many offerings of the Star Trek universe. Far too many to list here, but a few names include Tom Jackson, Bruce Gray, Sharon Acker, and John Colicos. Canada itself even makes a cameo appearance every now and then as reference, as imagery, or background context. The Next Generation shows Toronto City Hall in a portal during Season 2's Episode 11. The expanded fan universe informs us that Nurse Christine Chapel is, or rather will be, born in Canada in the 23rd century. In one sequence in The Next Generation, Riker is mistakenly thought to have come from Canada. He clarifies that he is actually from Alaska, similar because of the amount of snow. Deep Space Nine shows character Michael Eddington in Season 5 talking about how his family originates from Canada, as well as his prized family heirloom from the 22nd century, a Lucky Loonie Canadian $1 coin. In Season 5 of The Next Generation, Calgary is mentioned as a tourist destination for members of Starfleet Academy who like to ski. In Enterprise, Season 4, Episode 2, former Canadian Prime Minister William Lyon Mackenzie King is shown in historic newsreel footage. Deep Space Nine features ships graced with the names of Canadian rivers from the Yukon and Newfoundland, giving us the USS Yukon and the USS Gander respectively. The Undiscovered Country, the sixth installment of the film series starring the original cast, includes a bevy of Canadians including Kim Cattrall and Christopher Plummer. Even in the expanded and fan-made offerings of the Star Trek universe, we continue to read and see references to Canada. The USS Calgary, the USS Ottawa, and the USS Toronto are starships that receive mention. The expanded universe also introduces us to the New Canada system, a singular star system in the Alpha Quadrant that supports 5 planets, 3 planetoids, 2 moons, and an asteroid belt.
Fascinating.
Visit stephenchristiansen.ca for more episodes. This podcast is available on premium streaming platforms, including Anchor, TuneIn, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. I'm Stephen Christiansen. Thanks for listening, and Happy Canada Day.
A production of Stephen Christensen. Podcast complete.